pretty crazy because this was the only one in the country, and it does have a little bit of damage. We'll just start in the What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna be back to work on our 2019 McLaren 720S. As you guys seen in the previous video, we did get the seat belts out and the module, and we already shipped those out and they're getting repaired as we speak. And the biggest thing we did was we ordered a new tub for the car, and it is finally here. We're gonna check it out in a second. So before we get started on this McLaren, I wanna say today's video is sponsored by Keeps. So if you guys don't know what Keeps is a super safe and easy way to prevent hair loss, and it's FDA approved. So if you're experiencing hair loss, head over to keeps.com/vtune. It's super simple to get started. There's 3 easy steps. They also have an online doctor, so you don't have to visit any doctors in your area. You simply just talk with them and they'll get you set up with the perfect plan that you need. So guys, there's no magic cure to hair loss, but there is a way to prevent it. So if you guys are interested in keeping your hair, make sure you hit up keeps.com/vtune to get 50% off your first order. So now let's get back to work on our McLaren. So if you guys don't know why we have to replace the tub, well, we have some serious carbon fiber cracks right here, and that's not even the worst part. The worst part is underneath where the mounting points are for the suspension. And you could probably fix this tub, but the way that you have to do it properly is you'd have to get the whole car x-rayed, and they'd basically have to find out exactly how big the cracks are, and we just didn't want to do all that because it costs way more than the new tub. So let's go ahead and check out the new one. Let's go ahead and check out our new tub. We paid around $10,000 for this tub, which is pretty crazy because this was the only one in the country, and it does have a little bit of damage. We'll just start in the front, but it has some minor damage right here. It's just this fiberglass. This isn't even carbon fiber, so it's gonna be pretty simple and pretty straightforward to repair. And this is just where the windshield wiper thing goes on, and there is cover, so it's gonna cover all that up. So we'll easily be able to repair this versus that tub over there. And the frame rails on this thing are pretty much perfect. Everything is perfect up front. This car was in a pretty minor collision. It wasn't nothing crazy like that one. And we do have a busted windshield right here, which kind of sucks, but you know, you can't get everything in one go, so we'll have to get a new windshield. And it did come with a couple more other stuff, like this air box right here, which we needed. Ours was just completely broken off and broken inside. And then we do have some extra bolts right here. Check this out. That's gonna help us out. I have no idea where these go, but it did come with some extra bolts and some good lines right here too. We were missing those on that car, were just completely crushed. So that's pretty cool. We did get some extra parts, but it looks really good. So coming around to the driver's side over here, as you can see, all this stuff right here is just in perfect condition, versus on our other car, it was just crunched right here, and this right here was missing, which you can't really buy this part. Even McLaren won't sell it to you because it is part of the body, and what you'd have to do is basically cut it off another car and somehow glue it on. But thankfully we don't have to do that there. And then back here where the door latch was, the firefighters destroyed that one over there, so we have a perfect door latch area right here, so we're not gonna have no issues with the door closing, and also with no wind going inside, because we would have to remake some of this parts on that car, and that's just gonna save us a lot of time and money. So now coming around to the back of the car, as you can see, the engine goes back here, the subframe is gone, and we do have a lot of wire wiring and a lot of, or not wiring, we have a lot of tubes which we can potentially sell and get a lot of our money back. But everything looks like it's in good condition. There's nothing broken. It's so weird how this car is made though. Everything's just carbon fiber and fiberglass. But check that out. It's basically a naked McLaren. So what we're gonna be doing is basically building a car basically how they do it at the factory, putting an entire car back together. So now coming onto the inside of the car, everything looks pretty good in here. There's no damage in the floorboard or any of the floor, which is freaking awesome because our car has a big old crack in the floor. You can see almost directly through it. So this tub is a little bit different from my car. As you can see, everything inside here is just completely painted black, I think. And on my car, let's go ahead and check it out. It's all carbon fiber, which is kind of weird because I was on the McLaren website and it actually shows a $5,000 option just for exposed carbon fiber inside here. As you can see, it's all forged carbon. And the crazy thing is, I'm pretty sure all they did was just paint this carbon tub right here, and that's why there's no exposed carbon. So that's kind of messed up on McLaren's part because they charge you $5,000 just not to paint all this. So what I'm thinking we might do is just sand all this off, and then we'll have a beautiful carbon fiber inside here, and it will match the exact spec of that car. So the first thing we're going to start on this McLaren is we need to get this window out right here because we are going to be putting the new dash in, and as you can see, it is busted right there, busted down there. So the first thing we want to do is cut it out. It's going to give us a lot more access inside the car, just like it did over there. So let's grab all the tools and get this thing cut out. So we got the old windshield out of here, and we did do a little bit more investigating, and we noticed these cracks didn't go any farther than right here, which is a really good sign. And now what I want to do is grab this tub and lift it up. It's actually really light. You can just literally lift it up just like that. That's crazy. This carbon fiber is super lightweight. We're gonna go ahead and put it on these stands right here so we can get the car up in the air, and then we're actually gonna start taking stuff off that car. So we got this car lifted up onto these stands right here. The Motorhead boys actually helped me out. It's pretty crazy. We lifted this car up with just 4 people. That just says this car is super light, and now it's not gonna move or anything. And what I wanna first do on this car is start repairing this fiberglass damage right here. As you can see, it's a little cracked right there, and it's most of this piece is missing. But the cool thing is we actually have this piece on our old tub right here, which is a good thing it did not get damaged. and there's no cracks or anything in here, and all it does is holds this windshield washer thing on, but the main areas are like right here and right here, so glad none of that's busted over there. So what I'm thinking what we're gonna do is probably cut this piece off and basically just fuse it onto that one over there. So the first thing we're gonna do on this old tub is basically get all this stuff off when you get this windshield wiper arms off, and probably get these wires out of here just so we don't cut anything whenever we're cutting this piece off.
So now that we got everything off over here, what I'm gonna do is grab this caliper right here, measure all the distances, and then we can go ahead and cut this piece off, and then we can start measuring it up on the new tub.
So we got everything nice and measured out, and now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and grab this grinder right here, and I'm gonna cut out area just like that right there, all the way like that, and then we can grab this piece and then put it over there and trace the line and make a nice cut, and then it'll fit up perfectly. So we got this piece cut off, and man, I never thought in a million years I'd be cutting pieces off a MClaren 720S and gluing them onto another MClaren, but we got this piece off, and now what we need to do on this piece right here, I'm gonna go ahead and do some trimming around this area right here because this won't fit over, and then we're actually gonna pop out these riv nuts right here, and then this right here will just slide perfectly in there, and then it'll slide perfectly in there. Then we get a marker and we just mark it real nice, and we'll get the perfect fitment on there. And this thing also glues on right here with some pretty strong, this stuff is almost like steel right here, and it glues on in the back right there. So that's gonna be the main structure support for this piece. So we got the riv nuts grinded out of here, and check this out. Now that's gonna give us kind of a template of where this needs to go, exactly like that. You can even see even the little two lines up just right there. But now what we need to do is go ahead and grab the die grinder. We need to clean off some of this panel bond adhesive right here. I think that's what it is, and that's actually what we're going to be using to glue all this back together. I was thinking about using fiberglass with the fiber hairs, but honestly that's going to be weaker than panel bond. Panel bond is some of the strongest materials ever. So what I'm going to do right now is grab the die grinder and clean all of this off of here, and I'm actually going to leave this right here because this is going to show us exactly where we need to put this. As you can see, there's a little thing right here. So let's grab the die grinder and clean everything up real nice. So we got this piece all cleaned off. We made sure just to get the panel bond off right there, and now all we need to do is set this on here, and it fits up perfectly. And check that out, even the sticker almost lines up, which is pretty cool. Now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and trace that and cut exactly like that and make this piece fit in here perfectly.
So check that out, this bracket is on there, and check that out, I'm pushing down on that old panel bond and it's just on there perfectly. And now what I want to do is actually test on this windshield wiper area, just make sure everything lines up good. So check this out, guys, we got the windshield linkage on and everything seems to be lining up perfectly. Now the one thing I want to test also is we do have this new front rail right here. It's actually a used one and this bolts onto there, but there's actually a lot of adjustments you can do. Like if you look at the holes right there, they're kind of big. I guess MClaren they like big holes. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and try to slide this on and maybe bolt it up to that and see if it lines up. So check that out, guys, we got the frame rail on there, everything lines up perfectly, and check that out, the holes basically line up, and I'm guessing that's why they made the holes so big, so you can kind of just adjust it in, but the holes are pretty much perfect. Now what we're gonna do is take all this stuff back off and get this glued on perfectly. So we got all the pieces off, and I actually went over it with a little sander, cleaned everything up back here, and now all we need to do is grab an air blower, air blow it off, and wipe it down with some degreaser, and it'll be ready to glue on. So we got everything nice and wiped down, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab this tape and I'm gonna tape it from the back right here. And what that's gonna do, once we put the panel bond, it's gonna seal up that hole. And I'm also gonna put some tape under here. And what that's gonna allow is the panel bond to just seep through the crack and just stop right there, so it'll just keep dripping. So we got everything nice and ready. We taped everything off. Let's go ahead and grab the panel bond and start gluing this back together. Sand it all down, right? No, it's gonna make it flow better. So we got this entire area glued up, and we also went ahead and put the frame rail on. We got 2 clamps holding it on right here. We got this nice and tight, and it's in the perfect area. And then we put some more panel bond back there. So it's gonna be really nice and strong. Now we just need to let this set for 24 hours, and we'll see you back tomorrow. So it's the next day here at the shop. The panel bond is all nice and dry, and it's really nice and solid. So what we need to do right now is go ahead and start sanding it down. So check this out, guys. We went ahead and put the windshield wiper linkage on there. Everything is nice and tight. There's no movement whatsoever. And then we also put on this frame rail and everything lines up beautifully right here. We might actually need to put a little bit more panel bond just in the smaller areas, and then we'll sand it all. And I don't know if we'll paint it, or we might actually try to do the forged carbon, but as you can see, you can barely tell it's forged carbon. And the cool thing is there's a nice big old cover that goes over all of this right here, and you won't really be able to take all that apart without taking everything off. So maybe we'll just spray it in and it'll be fine. But that's gonna be it for today's video. We got the main structural damage on this tub repaired, and that should be all the damage that's on this car. We did a little look around. There's no damage underneath, so it looks freaking awesome. And in the next episode, we are gonna just start swapping everything over from that car. We might just start from the interior, and then we'll swap all the wiring from the front, and then start moving to the back, because the back is gonna be the most complicated part on this car. As you can see over here, there's just a lot of lines and just a lot of stuff we're gonna have to work out. So we're gonna just do it really nice and slow, but there will be a lot of episodes coming soon. So if you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so you don't miss any part of this exciting build, and also follow me on Instagram at vtuned. And if you want to cop some merch, head over to vtuned.com and pick you up some.